Welcome back to Satisfactory. My name is Nilaus and we are back here with more design work. And what you're seeing here is nuclear power plants, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We built the base, we built everything, and in the previous episodes we've just been walking through how everything just works flawlessly. Now it's time for us to do one of the final challenges, and that's going to be building a modular nuclear power plant. And let's just walk through quickly on how the whole thing works, because there are 3 stages now with the invention of Fixonium. So let's just walk through it here. We have uranium. We're going to be starting from uranium. The whole point of this is that I am going to take uranium, and before we dive into that, let's have a look at the map. So we have there are 4 unclaimed and 1 claimed there, and it is distributed as such that there are 3 impure, and they will each give 300 with a Mark III fully overclocked, and then there are 2 normals here. So there we go, 2 normals. So they will give 600. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a modular design that will stack up to sort of get an even 300, which will be the one we use up here. And then we're going to build the nuclear power plant down here in all the 3 glorious stages. So now we can go in here and look at uranium and just get a sense of what it is we want to do. So I want to make it I want to say that I want to make it the most efficient formula, but there is one exception that I am going to skip because it's, I don't know. Here, 10 to 5, or here, 5 to 4. It's pretty obvious that we're going to use the alternate infused uranium cell, and it's also much easier because we don't have to deal with sulfuric acid. So we need to get silica, we need to get sulfur, we need to get deuterium for the quick wire. Easy. When we get the encased uranium cells, then that will be going in here. There are 2 recipes, 50 to 1 or 100 to 3. So of course we're going to take the 100 to 3 because then we get another 50% extra yield. We're not going to use summer sloops for any of this because we're going to use a lot of manufacturers and we just don't have the summer sloops for it. Also, wasting summer sloops on making more power, then you should use the summer sloops for the power augmentation instead. So this one is electromagnetic control rods. We got another bus. We have crystal oscillators on the bus. We have rotors on the bus. So easy peasy. Then we can do this one. Once you have the fuel rod, then we don't see what that does, but it goes into this location. And we can see up here that the fuel rods have a burn rate of 0.2. So we 1 fuel rod per minute can feed 5 reactors working at 100%, or less, of course, when working at 250. So that means that now we have to sort of look at the ratios for this. Or also, we're just going to look through the last part so that you get a sense of it, but I'm not going to go through all of it. But basically, when we have the waste here, uranium waste, we turn that into non-fissile uranium. We turn the non-fissile uranium with this recipe here, we turn that into the plutonium cells. Then we turn the plutonium cells into, with the pressure cubes, into fuel rods, and the fuel rods we turn into more power, plutonium power. And then if I do waste, that's actually funny that this search doesn't work anymore if I have to retype it. Waste, plutonium waste. So when we get plutonium waste, which usually previously we couldn't do anything about, but now we can do something. We add some singularity cells and some dark matter residue, and then we get Fixonium. Fixonium can then be made into Fixonium cells, and Fixonium cells can be burned without having any product or any waste product. But it does need some other things, like a lot of fixed trigons and more electromagnetic control. So we're going to be leaning a lot on the stuff we already have on the bus in order to make the nuclear power plant work. So the next thing we want to do is figure out a module size and the scale of things. So we're going to start by looking at this one. And I have already designed this. This module is now scaled like this, almost to the maximum, 240%. And that means it consumes 60 uranium per minute. That means I need 5 modules in order to consume the 300 we get from an impure cell. So this is going to be my benchmark size of 48 encased uranium cells coming out of this. The rest of it, just something we can do. Then we go into the next part and then say, okay, so I have 48 encased uranium cells. And then we add the rest of the stuff, and then we get 144 uranium fuel cells. 1.44, and we have 5 modules, remember that, and each module lasts for 5 minutes, or it can support each per minute can last. So that's 36 power plants, and each of those are going to be generating 2,500 megawatt of power. So that means it's a total of 90,000 megawatt of power that we get from one uranium, impure uranium node. That is pretty damn efficient. So let's get started on working on that. So that means we need one of these. Let's actually see. This one is also using quickwire, so we need some kind of quickwire build here. This quickwire build is, even at fully maxed out, it's only going to do 150. So we do actually... Weird that you sometimes can't pick them, can't just shift click them out. There. So 90, and 2 of those, 2 times 90, gets us what we want. So that was... we're going to bring this in with drone. We're going to bring this in with drone. And we're going to bring this in with drone. These 3 drones from the hub. So let's go over here to our design space and start working on what it's going to look like for design. And ta-da! Let's go with our standard template build here. And the first thing we want to do is let's do the manufacturer, and let's put that somewhere over on this side, and maybe like this. I need to have some room in the back to actually get it in. And let's see. I think this is going to be fine. Nah, like that, maybe. That's a little bit too far out, but doesn't really matter. I think we have enough space here. And then I'm going to go on the other side. Okay, here. Let's go that. That looks better, even though they're not technically aligned. And that is a pretty good distance. Then we're going to get some of these. They will be... Maybe just back it up a little bit. So it's that one. And here. Each of these will be like that. Copy, paste. Actually, I don't want to do that all right now because we don't know if that's going to be the final build here. And the thing is, I don't want to make this with Mark 6 builds, even though I love a Mark 6 build, but I want to make this with Mark 5 build, because if you want to build this, you will probably have Mark 5 builds at this point. I think that that's the best sort of assumption. So this is where we get inbound. And then this one will be the encased here. And we are going to be scaling that up fully. And this is going to be 240%. So silica, sulfur, and quickwire, and uranium. Okay, so this one is 3 additional inputs. 1, 2, and 3 inputs. They are going to go in here. And the output coming over from the side. Let me just snatch that belt. And that goes in here. Still stays within line. This will be the fuel cells, the alternate uranium fuel unit. And that was... it was 1.44. Oh, right. It was 1.44. There we go. That works. And the rest, 1, 2, 3 inputs. Okay. 1, 2, and 3 inputs. Here. So that's a little bit tricky in terms of how many things we actually need inbound. And this is the final outbound. So the final outbound will obviously go on the middle here. Up. There. This will go on the top lane. And then the bottom lane will be, I suppose, this. Plus the uranium. Yes. So let's say that this here is going to be uranium, and this is the output, and this is the... yeah, okay. No, this... Thinking. What if we built something like this? This can have 3 inputs. 1, 2, 3 inputs. That will be for this one, and these 2, and then the last one will be uranium. So uranium comes in here. And then we have the 3 outputs from the other side, and they will go over on this side. Let's have a look if that works, and if not, then we might want to change some things. That will be right here, like this. And does that work? It does indeed. So that means we can do something that looks really neat, like so. Here and here. That's pretty cool, I think. that. So these are the three things that come from the bus. This will be uranium at the bottom level, which will go into this one. And on the top level is this one outbound. Yep. Yeah. Hold on. That was not a good idea because I need to build this one as well. Is it exactly the same? No, it's not. Of course it's not. That would be too easy. Merger. That one, and that one. And then take the two lower ones out. And you're going to be merging back in. Good. Alright, so we got pretty much everything done here. Whoa. That's good. You are going to go over to the output, and then we'll have and in. Then this part is, this will be at the ground level, like that, like that. This will be at the top level, and this will be at this level. Whoa, also working. And that will be here, and here, and here, and take the lower one out. I know, maybe I'm working a little bit quick here, but for me this is something I've done like a lot of times, so I feel really confident about how to do this. Oh, well, so much for my confidence, right? Well, confidence is a slow and insidious killer, right? And that looks like it's attached to the right place, so try again. In, or technically out. So let's go from yeah. You just now realize that I'm actually using for the uppers and downers, the elevators, I am using Mark 6s, so I need to do that at the end, but there will be some fine tuning here at the end anyway. That goes in here, and that goes in. Yeah. That means we've now done all the belts part for this, and I think the belt part is the only one that's really important. We have the number of machines, we put them in a nice pattern. We have the recipes, we've scaled the recipes, we know that we can get stuff in and out, so all I need to do now is hook up the power and put some signs so it is ready to go. Here we go. So that is ready to go. All of these items are here. That is perfect. We are going to need to get them from the bus as well. Let's go over here and have a look at the bus build, because that's we need to make sure that we can add a drone port to some of these items. So let's find one of the items. There we go, that one. Crystal oscillators, that needs to be added. So let's try and see if we can get this one done. Okay, so the first thing that we do is remove the sign. And I am not going to power it here, or sorry, make the fuel here, because I know that the other place will have fuel as well, and the location. So we're going to take that out, and then anything that interacts with directly with that blueprint that we just took out is that one and that one. Oh, I'm going to make boxes of shame. So let's put that in here. Ooh, that's a bad case of full inventory in this. Whatever. That is a full box, this one then. Oh yes. We're gonna have to make more of these. What a mess. Here, and that box of shame, and that box of shame. Good. And that now goes in here. Perfect. Right, so I have now prepared a new blueprint, which is called something with drone. Drone port depot on bus. That's the one. Yes, and there will need to be some small changes here. But I think this one is, I did it for a sort of a proof of concept. Basically what it is, it's exactly the same blueprint as the previous one. Then I just built a drone port. You can see here, it's putting a drone port on top. And it works quite well. The only problem is that when I built it, I was kind of forgetting that I was actually going to use the ground level here. So we're going to need to do something a little bit different. And that is like this. Take this one out, take this one out, take this one out. And take this one out. And that one as well. Cool. So this one goes in. First we connect it to the output module. And we get the module into here. Then we get that into that one. And then this will be location. Here. Nope. There. And then if I do this, it's gonna get too close to the awesome sync. So I have a better way of doing it, and that is actually by doing this. Then it works. And then I need to say left is overflow, right is any, because right is that one. Then I need to take all of this outbound and put it back in. All this. Put it back in. Kill that, and then connect it back to the bus as it must be. Great. So what we have now is we have this put up here. Great. And this one will called Crystal Oscillator 1. And I will get some fuel in here just because then it works better. Then I'm going to put a drone in here. And this is not powered because I just placed the new blueprint. So all I need to do now is power it like this and get the power into the next. And that's it. We have now added this module here. Again, remember all these blueprints that we're looking here, that is also available to patrons as usual with all my blueprints, also the one we just made. And there we have it. We have now added this build. This is, well, not right now, but maybe you. No, it's not getting anything. Why is it not getting anything? Oh, maybe because, let me just try something just to make sure that it is working. Maybe it's because it's just slowly not working. Let's just use this as an output, and then this was not as an output, just to make sure that it is actually working, and it goes evenly up here. Anytime now. Yes. Okay, so it is moving up there. Good. Oh yeah, it's of course it's not going in here. It's going directly into the drone, and we have 6 in here. And if I go back there, it's not exactly fast. It is not exactly fast, but that's weird. Well, it's coming out. It's coming out slowly. 50% goes in here. 50% goes out there. We might need to add more crystal oscillators, and you got more. Perfect. It's working. Let's do that for the electromagnetic control rods and then we also set up external ones for silica and for what was the other thing we wanted? That was sulfur. Then once that is done, I am going to fly through here, and we can then go to our location with the teleporter. I have marked it. Let's have a look at what the location looks like. Here we are. This is the platform that I have built. Maybe it needs a little bit of explanation, because this is a big platform. It's a very big platform. And there are some indications of build areas. This build area here is going to be where we place our new blueprint. Then we're going to place nuclear power plants here. Get the water from below. Then this area is for making plutonium fuel rods. This is for power plants consuming the plutonium fuel rods. This is for making fixonium fuel rods, and this is for consuming fixonium fuel rods. So those are the things that we need to do. So we already have the design for this, and we now need to work on getting stuff inbound. We have added everything to we will add everything to the bus or to drone ports. So let's go down here and stamp down our blueprints until we run out of resources. And when we run out of resources, then it's going to be time to add some other stuff. And here is a cool thing that I've done with this platform. If we look below, or if we look on top, here, it is a 6x6 blueprint that I've stamped down, and that means you can stamp it down incredibly quickly. More so, I have also added underneath a global grid underneath here for power lines, which means that we can now float, because, well, we're going to try to use the hovercraft for doing this. Then we left over here on the bus. I have now marked everything that we need for all the different stages. So this one will sort of be a shared belt. There will never be a point where I both need uranium and these 3 fuel cells at the same time, so they can share the belt. Waste is also something I can share a belt. These 2 can also share a belt. So we're going to have silica, we're going to have sulfur here, we're going to have the electromagnetic control rods, we're going to have deuterium and crystal oscillators and rotors. Those are the things that we need inbound for the first. So first one needs all of these, and then the next stage will need some of the same, and then also some other ones. Whew. All right. Well, uranium fuel rod done. This is the one we just made. So we're going to be stamping this one down here. And the next one is, sure, just smash it down here. We have quite a lot of junk in, materials in our inventory. So we should be able to make a lot of these before we run out. And it's probably going to be the quartz we run out of. And that is here. And then the 5th one. Look at us. We can actually make all of them at once. That looks great. Good. Right. So now we have the usual step. We're going to do it only for one of them, but then you know what you need to do. Connect the power. Connect the belts. And there are more belts here. They just haven't spawned yet. There are 1, 2, 3 belts. 4 belts. 5, 6, 7, and 8 belts. And 1 power line. And then we need to do that for every single one. And after that, I also want to set up some silica and some sulfur so that we can get that in here by with drone ports. Now we're coming up on our silica location, a brand new silica location. I'm bringing in some materials here from our quartz facility. We are bringing in 2,400 quartz from the cave below. So yeah, we can leach a little bit of this in order for us to have a drone coming out and being happy and sending us in with up to 1,800 of that at a time, silica at a time. Then over here we have a deuterium depot that we're using currently to feed the bus, but it's actually not really necessary. I use 360 deuterium per minute, and I'm producing 400 from the pure node below, and then this one is supplementing by 200. So we don't actually need this one, kind of. Well, so we get this one, we reorganize it so it can send to our new location. Then we continue over here. There is down there in the pit, down here, there is a location. And that location is a sulfur location. We can kind of see it there. Don't need to go down there, but there is a sulfur location. I can actually just scan that and then we can see it. Come on. Bling! Sulfur location. Just gets us some sulfur inbound. That is glorious. And back out here on our base. Oh, actually, let's use this little one for just boosting us to where we need to go. Whoosh. There we go. And now I have this location is something I want to show you, because if some of you might still not know this neat trick, but it is a damn neat trick. This conveyor lift Mark 6 is one lift going all the way up. And that's pretty cool. So I'm going to show you how this is made. I know that it's showed it a few times, but I keep getting questions about, oh, how did you do that? So let's do it one more time. And because this is for everyone. So first, you need a landing place. This means that if I place it here, it's going to be matching a location like that. If I sort of made it in the roof, okay? So it actually works the way that if you take this and then I hold it down because I have one click option, and then you can see it doesn't want to go higher than 48 tiles or 48 ingredients. And then I can just keep holding the mouse down. You can see the build gun is still active, just still desperately trying to connect, heading up and up and up and up and up until we actually get close enough to the hole in the ground, because I built a hole here that has to be exactly matching. If it doesn't exactly match, it doesn't work. And then you go, it just snaps. It instantly snaps to that. And we have a nice build. It takes a while for it. There we go. It works. I'm going to just double tap to get down faster. And here we have our little uranium power build. And then the next thing is for us to get stuff inbound. So what we need to do is we need to This one's coming in. I didn't really want to get it in because now I'm going to be struggling with uranium power or uranium junk in my inventory or in the area that I'm building. So I'm just going to take this little node out. And yeah, okay. Never. That sucks. Okay. All right, I'm going to remove it. Okay, no crackling from the Geiger counter. So what we need to do is now we need to make a design. This is pretty much the same drone port as we have for the bus. But on the bus, it was bringing stuff. Well, it's actually pretty much the same, but it was it's just adapted a little bit here. So we're going to be using this, and I need to align it to something. This is fun because I can now already see the problem. Here. That looks... You can see the white line. Thank you for having the white line on blueprints, even though you've removed it from the buildings themselves. And I'm going to switch over to blueprint mode so that it attaches next to it. This will be complaining, and then I'm going to build one more out here. And then we're going to build additional. Remember how many we needed? First we need rocket fuel come in, then we need sulfur, silica, I don't know, something else. Oh, Caterium. That was that. 3 electromagnetic control rods, rotors, and crystal oscillators. So 7 drone ports coming in. There is a clip here. I don't like that. Then what we're going to do is we are going to take this one. This will be called nuclear power, because first I name my naming convention is I call them what the factory is called, and then I what is it bringing in there. So I am going to start by bringing in all ports, and then I know I have something with rocket fuel. Rocket fuel 3 is not allocated. I will send it to this port. Go. So that means rocket fuel will come into here. There it is. So it's coming in. So this works. I get rocket fuel. I can get these other ones engaged. That's just a lot of setup to do. And then we need to sort of get these from the belts out here. So that's one thing. Another thing that we definitely need to do is make a nuclear power plant. So we'll just ignore this a little bit because that's just something I need to set up. But we could make a nuclear power plant here. Let's do that. There. So what is this going to be looking like? This definitely should look like a stack here. We're going to start with that one, and then we're going to be making a nuclear power plant in here. This is going to be a very simple blueprint, because there isn't a whole lot of room for shenanigans here, and there's a lot of things that just can't be done. I'm going to place it in the middle, and then as far over to that side as possible, to the right hand side, so I get by myself as much space over on the other side. This will have an input and an output, or maybe the other way around. Input and output, fine. It will have there, let's do that one. And then it's gonna have a line here that's gonna be vertical. And honestly, that's kind of it. It needs to be powerful because I'm gonna get like uranium in, the fuel in, and then branching it out, getting the waste out. That's kind of it. And then water. The problem with the water is that, well, it's down here, which is good, but these can't be blueprinted. You can never blueprint it, even if you place the designer in the water. You can't blueprint it, so there's going to be a lot of manual action to do this. So we're going to just have a simple blueprint for the nuclear power plant, and then we can stamp it down in this area. Here it is, just adding a little bit of signage that it's waste on the top and the fuel coming in at the bottom. Switched it to Mark 5 belts, and we can now clear it, and I can remove this blueprint planner, and then we can go in here and say nuclear power plant. That's not it. Nuclear power plant. That one, 6x6. Oh, wow. It snaps to... Oh, this is so cool. I did not even think of that. There. That side. Does that snap here? It does. Nice. And what I'm building is I am building here. I'm building 15. 3 by 5. So that's 15. But we needed 36, remember? But if I say that I have 15 and I multiply them by 2.5, so maximum scaling up, that's 37.5. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have 12 and I scale those up to 250%. And then I'm also going to have the last three, the last row, and they will only be scaled up to 200%. And that will get us the equivalent of 36 without having to build a monstrous amount of these buildings. So we just need to add more nuclear power plants. I'm just going to take that blueprint and then have it... Oh, quartz crystals. Well, hello, my old friend. Progress is made on belts and all that stuff coming in, but there is a big issue that is missing, and that is the worst part of it, and we need to deal with that. How do we get water into these nuclear power plants? The thing is, these nuclear power plants, when they are fully scaled up, and they absolutely will take 600 water per minute, and it doesn't actually matter what kind of fuel they consume. It's just 600 per minute, which is nice because that means that we have to give one pipe for each, and there's no sort of pipe shenanigans. What I want to do is I want to build it from this one and all the way in, and you can't put water what are these water extractors in a blueprint, so that doesn't work. These holes here in the ground, these ones, they don't work when building blueprints. They don't always work in blueprints. I could not get them to work here. So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. I have decided to skip them because they just don't work in this case. So that means we're going to have a blueprint, but this blueprint is severely neutered for this part. So let me just say I spend a lot of time on trying to figure out something. And this is... I'm not going to say the best. It's going to be the least bad option. So I am going to stamp this one down, and then it will actually attach to the next one, like so, and here. And this is kind of the best I can come up with in terms of getting water inbound. All right, so what do I have here? This one is then what I need to do is I need to sort of just build here and then get these, and then they can't be... I'm holding control down and then it snaps to a point, but it can't snap to two things, so we still have to sort of fidget in until we see a little blue-green line kind of way. So do this. Oh, right, also this part has to be done. 300 and 300, and before you say you can copy paste, you can't copy paste. There's no copy paste error here, and if you copy, you hear the sound of me tapping my Control C and Control V. It doesn't do a damn thing. So no copying of this. That has to be done manually. So hooking this one up, building it for all of them. That is a thing that we need to do for all of this. Another thing that I want to show you that I thought about that is pretty cool is out here. So when we get from this power plant, or this uranium fuel plant, we are getting 7.2. So 144 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 7.2 outbound. So that comes in here and goes in here. Then it goes down here for 5, down there for 5, and down there for 5. So that means the last one down the line is just never ever going to get anything. So what if I could sort of make a balanced belt so that this gets a third, the next one gets a third, and the last one gets a third? Then at least it's going to be a little bit better. So that's what we're going to do. And the way I'm going to do that is by going like this and then taking that to be a merger. 1, 2, 3. Get that up in the same level. Because what now happens is that it comes in here. It's actually better than that, because if we look at this one, remember this one was building in batches of 3. It builds in batches of 3. So it comes out 3 exact, and I want to have 1 into each row for every production cycle. And if I then get it this one, and if I don't know, got this one, then it would go 1/3, or in a batch of 3 it'd go 1, 1, 1. So if I just take this here and then just happily chuck it into that one and move it on. So now it's 1/3 goes into the first row and 2/3 move on. Pretty damn simple way of doing balancing in this game here. Well, I mean, it would be nice to just have priority balance. That's a lot of things that would be nice to have, but hey, we got the option to solve this problem at least. So here I'm just gonna go in, because now I have basically the residual is 2/3 of the production, and the 2/3 of production means that I can just split it into 2 batches, and then it'll be 1/3, and the last third will go over here and be happy and go in. So that was the other thing. So let me set up all the waters to make sure that's working, and then finish up getting these set up and hooked up to the belt. So we're ready to go. So the life of an average content creator for Satisfactory consists 80% of waiting for sunrise so you can start recording again. And I guess this is kind of the sunrise, so I can start recording again. We are ready to get this base in action. All I need to do is hook up the belts, and then hopefully the whole thing will work. Oh, stupid clouds. Go away, clouds. You're supposed to give me sunshine. I'm sitting here waiting for sunshine for the sunrise, and then it just not getting there. So we're going to be feeding all these lines inbound. This line has to be fed in by that way, and that's better. And oh, these ones are straight in, and this one is here, and then there. And remember, all the blueprints we're seeing here, those are of course available to Patreon supporters, but you don't need them. You can also just follow along with what I built, and then you can build them yourself. We are using this module here for the drone ports coming in. We're using this module for the uranium fuel cells, and then we're using this module for the uranium power plant. And then below ground we have the water plant and water entrance, and that's also something. So you can see it's consuming really fast. And what I've also done is I've taken the belts here that I need. I know I need silica, I know I need sulfur, and I know I need electromagnetic rods. I'm then continuing them onwards to the plutonium and fixonium later on. But sort of here. But stuff like crystal oscillators, rotors, and caterium, which we have over here, those are not used at all in other things. So we just go straight in here. Same with uranium. Oh, we probably need uranium. Oh, that's kind of important. Uranium, it's kind of hard to make uranium power without uranium. That's one of the core ingredients, you could say. There we go. And it's coming in. And we have the Geiger counter just probably going a little bit nuts here. So let's trace this in through the build and just make sure that we see that it is working. There is one step that's going to be really slow and another step that's really fast. This one's pretty fast. It's where it's on a 5-second cycle. And especially, it's going to be even faster once it goes through. No, it's not a 5-second cycle. 5-second cycle, yes, and it's crackling here. This one is on a 300-second cycle. That sucks, but it just needs a bit of time, and then it will get through. And once it does, then we're going to be sort of following the first ones coming out and going through the line and seeing if our little balance or balancer here works to send one in and then two onwards. So the first fuel rods are about to come out. They are coming out here. Come on. There they are, coming in a batch of 3s. And let's see, does it work? Yes, 2 moves on, 1 goes in. And idle. Why you no work? Oh, there we go. It says no fuel, but there is now fuel, so now it is burning fuel. And we got a little bit more here. So here's the thing. This one should be scaled fully up here, because that's what it can support. However, that's not what we're going to do, because the reason why I don't want to do that is because I actually want to have all of the fuel have a little bit of a chance to stack up. Oh, look at that. It is just getting tons of joyful nuclear waste out. So here's the thing. We now have the whole thing working. We can see the few of them are huffing and puffing. And if I just keep going with this, then it'll keep working at, let's say, a 40% of what it should, because I haven't scaled them up with power shards. But that also means that it'll be much slower at filling the belts up, but it'll also be much slower in sense of filling this one up. Because what if this one gets completely full and I have to have a giant storage by the time I'm ready to build the next stage? So I'm actually kind of thinking maybe just disabling these or just letting it run sort of at low power as I am right now, because it's not exactly like we need more power in this base. And if we see here, we start seeing extra things coming in, and we start seeing a little bit of a tip upwards here. This was before, there was 225. That's actually kind of high. And now it goes up to 234. So yeah, it's additional power that we just don't need at this point. But hey, we can make it. We get 3 of them online. Pretty neat, pretty neat. And they'll just continue to work their way down here. And yeah, I I think waiting time is just what we need. There will be some stuff on the bus to make sure that these here are increased production of electromagnetic control rods, since we're now going to be starting using them quite a lot, and also crystal oscillators and rotors, and all the things we use here we need more of back on the bus. But it also means that we can then start working on the design for the next stage, and that will be in a separate video. So what we have now is a glorious uranium power plant. This is 300 uranium ore in, so that is all you can get from a single power plant or a single impure mine, getting that in, adding a few more stuff, and then making that into 90,000 megawatt of power. That's not bad. And you get some free nuclear waste. Yay! So I think that is a pretty cool design here. It's also, not only is this a cool design, but it's also a cool design that is ready to just be even cooler when we add plutonium and fixonium in the next 2 episodes. So if you find this interesting, be sure to hit the like button. Remember that blueprints are available to Patreon supporters, or you can just design them based on what you see in the videos. And be sure to stay subscribed, because not only are we going to be doing a lot more, finishing up the Satisfactory with the last blueprints, we are going to be diving straight into Factorio. So even more goodies in terms of awesome factory designs. We're also going to take a look at Timberborn, if that's of interest to you, soon. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, take care and stay effective.